Hey, Art Nerds, we are going to talk about positive and negative space. So, we're going to sort of experiment with the difference between positive and negative space and then also see some examples of artists playing around with space. So, space in general is the area above, below, within, and around an object or objects in your art. In short, space is everything in the artwork. Okay, so it's not just the subject, but it's the area, the space, the emptiness around them and in between them if there's more than one in a work. Okay, so that's kind of confusing. So, like, if I was talking to you about your project, be like, hey, nice space there, you'd be like, you're just gesturing to all of it. Okay, so we break down space actually in two different types of space. So the first one we have is called positive space. Okay, and that is the object itself, okay, what it takes up. Then we have negative space, and that is the area around said object. So here we have some examples with positive space, okay? Like I said before, the space an object takes up, so the object itself. So that means in this image, the scissors is the positive space. The object is the positive space. Okay, same with the chair. That is the positive space. It is the object, the subject. It takes up space. However, we also have negative space, and that's the space around an object. So this helps us define the boundaries of positive space, okay? Where negative space ends, positive space begins. So that is like all of our background area, okay? That whole emptiness, but it is also the space in between parts of your subject, okay? So like the finger holds for the scissors and also all the little holes and stuff in the chair. That is also negative space, okay? Positive space you can touch. Negative space is like the air in between and around everything else. So artists experiment with space in a bunch of different ways. So one of the examples here is by Johann Vermeer, Girl with a Pearl Earring. And we have the negative space, so that background is completely black. And what that does is it draws our attention to the figure, to the lady itself, because everything else is boring. There's nothing there. So it draws attention because of the simple background. In this image, we have the illusion of space, okay? Paintings are two-dimensional. They're flat. However, in this image, it looks like we're looking at a whole street scene. We have people that are closer to us, and then we have some other people that look like they're further away and then further away, and then we have buildings in the background. And artists create that by manipulating the size of objects within it, changing the level of detail, things further away are less detailed, and also including something called linear perspective, which we'll talk about later this semester. Okay, and then we have artists that like to play around with the positive and negative space, trying to make them both equally important. So you see that a lot in like logos and graphics as well. And this one's just from the movie Brave, where you have Merida and her hair is, really big. But then if you look in the negative space, the black space, we wouldn't have noticed unless there was an eye there that you see the figure of the bear. So both of them are like fighting for attention. So those are just a couple different ways that artists use space. We're going to be experimenting with creating and using positive and negative space to our advantage.